Change is terrifying. When film, animation, video games, and other art forms evolve, it can be difficult to let go of the fond memories you have of something you love. Sometimes change can absolutely suck ass. Other times it can completely transform the experience you know and love to even greater heights. When it comes to video games, change is incredibly hard to accept, but it's also necessary. The Legend of Zelda is known for changing its identity on multiple occasions and receiving so much criticism from its die-hard fans until they actually play the game and think, damn, that was absolutely amazing. All the greatest franchises adapt to stay relevant. Whether it's changing the core mechanics, genre, narrative, or art style, most risks tend to pay off, and the franchises that are left behind only stay relevant because the fans have held onto those experiences from so long ago. You don't realize that maybe they're starting to stagnate a bit, and the single greatest culprit of this is Pokemon. This is so difficult to talk about because everybody loves Pokemon, including myself. But the only thing keeping this series afloat is the cult following its game from its older games, trading cards, and maybe even the anime. If you were to show me a random picture of any of the first 451 Pokemon, I could still tell you their names from memory. And that is why, in spite of not touching the franchise since Diamond and Pearl, and I don't mean those god-awful remakes, I latched onto Pokemon Legends Arceus because it tried to change. Most people give Game Freak points for trying, but realistically, it's nowhere near enough. Is it wrong to ask for a mainline Pokemon game with a great story, proper voice acting, vibrant environments, realistic Pokemon behaviors where they interact with each other, actual battle mechanics that ditch the turn-based formula, and genuine collectathon puzzles instead of just chucking a Pokeball at them and hoping for the best? Can you not use the experience from past established games where you've already polished these aspects individually and all that's left is to put them together as a cohesive whole? You've gone above and beyond to create a dream world every child, teenager, and adult wants to be a part of. So can't you make it happen as an established 26-year-old franchise?
Actually, they don't need to. They're doing great so far, and if it was so easy, why isn't everyone else doing it?
Well, they're starting to, and leading the charge is Bugsnax. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but this game boasts so much character and quality that I'd love for Pokemon to learn from it in any way it can. The voice acting is fantastic, the storytelling has unexpected layers to it. The Bugsnax are not just creatures slapped into the game to add variety, but they actually feel like they live and breathe as part of an ecosystem. The interaction between NPCs is similar to a caliber scene in Red Dead Redemption 2, where you can casually listen in on very real conversations and notice how well their personalities stand out.
You don't know a thing about love! That's why your wife left you!
I'm gonna do violence to you.
Cromdo is a greedy man who dreams of being rich and came to the Isle of Bugsnax to try and leave behind his past life as a salesman. Beffica loves good gossip and will go to extreme lengths to try and learn everyone's deepest secrets. Chandlo is a gym buff who's obsessed with getting stronger, but there's a soft and kind-hearted purpose behind those actions. Each character has more to them than meets the eye, and I'm praying for the day we get to see some of that in Pokemon.
Finally let us eat a few pets!
You say that again! Oh, get off me!
When it comes to being a collectathon, it's hard to think of a game that rivals the capture mechanics as well as mannerisms found in Bugsnax. Each snack has a certain set of likes and dislikes, varying temperaments, appearances that depend on the time of day, and conditions for capture. A french fry spider who loves the smell of ketchup, a grape mosquito who loves the taste of chocolate and would go as far as killing other snacks to satisfy its hunger, an instabug who will only come out if you take a picture of it to upload to Instagram. There are even legendary Bugsnax that double as entertaining boss encounters to try and capture them. I promise you, if Pokemon had this level of interaction between its creatures, this layer of depth involved in catching its monsters, this use of characteristics to give them more personality, I would join up with my Pokemon fans in singing its praises for Game of the Year. Temtem is a straight up fan-made Pokemon game. It doesn't shine in any particular department because it's essentially the same concept. You pick a starter Tem, battle gym leaders, encounter random NPCs, and travel the game's islands looking for new Temtem to catch. But there's a tiny feature they've incorporated to reel players in: online multiplayer. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet decided to add a co-op feature, sure, but Temtem takes it a step further than that. What if Pokemon was an MMO? A game that allowed you to battle other players in tournaments and rank up. When you compare Ash's legendary fights with trainers and gym leaders in the anime, it just hurts to see how combat didn't really translate properly into the games. It might have worked well 20 years ago, but now combat feels like an afterthought. If you can't design challenging encounters that go beyond overleveling your Pokemon until you beat the gym leader, why not face off against real people to play against so there's a proper emphasis on strategy? If Temtem can do that, then Pokemon can too, if it really insists on staying within the confines of the turn-based formula. But what if it ditched that formula? When Final Fantasy made the bold move of transitioning from a turn-based RPG to real-time, I could only imagine what Pokemon would look like if it did the same thing. Kindred Fates is a game trying to sell itself on that dream. If the anime can make Pokemon moves look this flashy, why are we still getting combat that looks this dated in the games? When you transition to real-time, that feels more like the combat Pokemon deserves. Kindred Fates wants to incorporate trainer battles or wildlife encounters with real-time arena combat, and plans to do that with a roster of 200 monsters. I would be happy if Pokemon could do that with 50, and it's not like they haven't tried a shift in combat. Pokken Tournament DX already feels like a very well done experiment because you had those Pokemon battles in the realm of a fighting game series. None of these changes abandon the spirit of the Pokemon franchise because this all falls in line with what's been created already. If you had this shit set in a world like Pokemon Snap, I don't think you'd ever hear a Pokemon fan complain again. You don't even need the full roster. The first 150 Pokemon will literally make everybody happy. That way you can keep releasing more and more games for every subsequent region. It's just so frustrating to see that indie studios are all completely in love with Pokemon before they decided to make similar games themselves. I'm pretty sure you found the discovery element of finding legendaries in Pokemon Snap insane, akin to making breathtaking findings in Breath of the Wild. You enjoyed the fighting mechanics in Pokken Tournament. Mystery Dungeon probably made you cry. And the fact that these are tried and tested aspects of different games waiting to be put together into one is just sad. It really isn't me, Pokemon. It's you. This was never something I wanted to let go of, and I get you want to continue making kids games, but have you seen the shit kids are playing these days? I'm out here platinuming Bugsnax because you're so far behind that kids literally had to grow up and start indie studios of their own to show you what they want from their games.